1, 2, 3, 4.
You heard the rest. Now here's the best. Stay Tuned Sports Podcast.
And hello there, all you Stay Tuners. Welcome back to another episode of Stay Tuned Sports. It's your good friend Jimbo here, back again after a interesting weekend for myself. We'll talk about it, but I had my official regular season debut race with the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series. And if you were on Facebook Saturday night, I actually did a live show in a way with the wife, but with a little kick to it, I guess you would say. Just keep an eye out on YouTube. I'm going to post that video over on YouTube in case you missed it. Just basically talked sports, took some sports trivia questions as I ate some hot wings, and it was fun and pretty funny towards the end there too. But so not too much to talk about, and usually I know I talk a lot about football, NFL, hockey, things like that. But I'm actually kind of switching up a little bit. I'm still gonna talk football. We're gonna talk about my feelings about the USFL debuting this past weekend, and also flipping between that and some NASCAR. Yes, your boy Jimbo here actually sat down and watched about half of the Bristol Dirt race. Had to go to bed. I'm not even sure how long it went. It was on a rain delay and things like that, but can they make it better? A lot of people seem to be saying it's a good idea, but just not thought out that well. But before we get into all that type of stuff, head over to staytunesports.net, so that way on the right hand side there is all the social media accounts. So when I do a live show, you guys will get the notification. I know this past Saturday was only Facebook, was kind of like a trial run in a way. A little bit of glitches there, but definitely gonna have them worked out, so that way I'll be doing Facebook, YouTube, and all the other ones all at the same time. And up top of the website there is our merch tab. You can help support the show by buying some merchandise. Speaking of showing your support, head over to www.buymeacoffee.com/stsports. Just another avenue for you guys to show your support for the show. If you want to buy me a beer, how I have it set up there, I appreciate it. And when you guys do show your support, I give back by doing some giveaways, which we did not have a winner for this past weekend's giveaway during the truck series on Friday. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do every week. Is basically the rules are going to be comment underneath the episodes, the comment section there over on Podbean, of what place I am in at a certain point of the race. And when I get to the talk about the truck series here in a minute, I'll give you a number. You gotta kind of watch and make sure you're watching the race, so you could tell me what place I was in on what lap, and I'll give a $20 Amazon gift card to the lucky winner. So like I said, this past Friday was the first race of the regular season for the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series. For the most part, for myself, I was doing good. I was kind of sticking to the plan in a way. Passed a few cars. I don't think I really made it anywhere past like 15th. I started towards the back there, and kind of messed up a pit stop with a couple of guys. I took tires and they actually left the pit stalls a little bit before I did, which kind of not their fault, it's my fault. Left me out by myself on Daytona, and anybody that races knows that's not a good recipe for success. Eventually the pack caught back up to me, and I stayed high, got a little squirrely, and a couple of guys behind me, I don't know if they panicked or whatnot, but caused a wreck, took me out, took my teammates out, and pretty much ended my night there. So I mean, definitely some stuff I got to work on, and have been so. I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter yesterday, I was actually running some laps with our buddy Scott Crump there, with the trucks, and he was giving me some pointers, helping me out. It seemed like it was coming along, so curious to see how this Friday night goes at Homestead. But again, as far as Daytona, very good race. I mean, other than my wreck, and I think there was one other wreck, very competitive race, but a lot of patience was shown compared to say the duels or something like that. Martin Plute ended up winning it, and if you guys rewatch it, I believe it was like he coming out of turn 4, he just shot out the cannon right up the middle, and it was actually the third photo finish of the week for the NSRA guys, between the Beer Street Journal series, the Max Graphics series, and the Stay Tuned Sports podcast truck series. Now we're at Homestead this week, like I said. Lot shorter track than Daytona. I don't know what to expect. Last week I put on myself to shoot for a top 15 and I'd be happy, but maybe I should just kind of reel it back a little bit here, get a couple races underneath my belt, and my goal this week is not to wreck anybody, because you can't make friends doing that, and just finish a race. Be able to finish a race and get that experience. I'm not doing a 3 racers to watch this week. I think I'm gonna give it like a week or two to kind of like fantasy football in a way. I usually give it till like week 3, 4, and that's when you kind of start to see the field and the players of who's going to be consistent, who's going to be inconsistent, things like that. But as far as the giveaway, we're going to do the same thing. Make sure you head over after you watch the race. Comment over on stsports.podbean.com what place I was in on the 100th lap. And what you gotta do is, the comment section underneath this episode is where you gotta put your pick. So that's the 100th lap, where I'm at, and all comments will be closed as soon as the race is over. So make sure you tune in Friday night over on YouTube, 9 p.m. Eastern, 3YTV. Come root me on, come root Chris Darling, Martin Plute, whoever your favorite driver is. Just don't root for Garrett Gleason. This past weekend, the USFL kicked off their inaugural reboot season. Let's not forget they were back in the 1980s at first. And I don't see this league lasting that long. So many issues came up over the weekend. There was only supposed to be games played Saturday and Sunday, and one game actually got pushed to Monday night. Or Monday, I'm not even sure what time they played, but how they have the league set up, I just don't think they thought this through. I think they're pulling off American Alliance Football League by trying to rush and get out there to try to compete with the XFL. XFL, I think, is doing it the right way. I know they originally wanted to come out this year, but then they decided to scrap that idea and push it off till next spring. I believe next February is the first week, which is the week after the Super Bowl. Some things that I don't like, and I think it's going to be the downfall, is the fact, and this is two major ones, I would say. Having games on all different NBC stations. You had one game on Peacock. You had the Philadelphia Stars on the USA Network. And the problem with that is not a lot of people anymore have cable or satellite. They're just picking up, the apps, like Peacock app. And USA Network, you need to have a cable provider to be able to watch it on that network. I tried to put the USA Network on to see if I could watch it. Luckily, I was able to use my parents' info. Or no, it wasn't my parents. I forget whose info I used, but to be able to watch the Philadelphia Stars, which I gave it a half, and before you know it, I'm flipping between there and NASCAR. The other issue that I think is going to be the major issue is every game is played in one stadium. Saturday's games drew in, I think they said 2.75 million viewers, which is roughly right around what American Alliance Football League did. But we saw them drop off after the 4th, 5th week. But then Sunday came, and the second football game was actually delayed an hour because of rain, which pushed off all the other games. And I thought I was going nuts because I saw Philadelphia Stars supposed to be starting at 4 p.m. Turn it on, and there's Law and Order. I'm like, what the frick is this shit? And here they pushed it off because my dad even put a fantasy football lineup in for DraftKings, and he said the same thing. So I knew I wasn't going nuts. And even the next day, DraftKings refunded the money because of the one game getting pushed to Monday. So I'm curious if DraftKings is going to stick around and still, be part of it, because it's not like baseball where DraftKings knows, okay, if there's inclement weather, we could, cancel the lineups. Here, you don't know if the game's going to get finished. And really, the only one thing I took away from it that I thought was a good idea, maybe NFL should look into it, was the kickoffs. I know the NFL wants to get rid of any returns and get rid of the kickoff altogether, basically. But the USFL actually kicks the ball from the 25-yard line, which increases the returns to 90% of the time. And on top of that, the gunners, the players running downfield, are only lining up a yard off the ball. So they're not getting that full force, that full speed to get down there and hit people. But it's just the, I know Saturday was a couple close games, but Sunday's games were just terrible. The product that they're putting out there as far as players, it's not that good. I saw today that the leading passer for the league is the Philadelphia Stars quarterback with 200 yards. In that game, there was not one offensive point until the second half, and it was 9-0 at halftime. It was a pick six and a safety. That's the type of production this league is putting out. The other story that came out of the USFL too was the Pittsburgh Renegades cut a running back that was supposed to be one of the bigger names, the leading, rushers of that league, because he ordered pizza instead of checking out. I mean, you could go on Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, and you see the video of the head coach, the director of personnel, sitting down with the player and explaining, was there an issue? Did you disrespect the workers? Because that was in the contracts that all these guys signed, that if you show any signs of disrespect towards team, hotel, any members, you will be terminated. And I kind of believe him. I kind of believe the football player, because I think his name was Devon Smith. He admitted, he goes, they were giving out chicken salad, and I told him, I don't like chicken salad, can I get a pizza? And the hotel worker said, no, is there going to be a problem? And Smith responds to the coach and said, I did say yes, but I walked away. I don't understand how that's disrespectful. I mean, how many times have we seen on video players say yes and then throw a punch or throw a kick and make the issue bigger than it had to be? This kid was smart enough to realize, you know what, I better walk away from this. Especially if a hotel worker or whoever asked him, is there going to be a problem? It kind of sounded like they were trying to set him up. And then the next day, Pittsburgh comes out and says the kid broke 3 rules within a 24-hour period. And now Smith is coming out saying that he has text messages from the team, screenshots, saying nothing of the sort. So this whole league just... If there's one situation that sums up this league, is this Pittsburgh situation. It just doesn't seem like it's very well, planned, very well organized, and I give it 4, maybe 5 more weeks before they're sitting on the couch next to the AAF league. So your boy here, Jimbo, watched some NASCAR this past weekend. I mean, I watched Bristol Dirt last year too, but not as much. This one, I think I tuned in about 10 laps into the race itself, and I enjoyed it, but there was a lot of things I think they could do better at. A lot of issues. I think it was 12 laps when I tuned in, because the NASCAR officials actually threw a yellow flag, threw the caution out, and told all the cars how to come in to clean off the cars, because there was so much mud buildup on the grills that a lot of the cars were starting to overheat. On top of that, there was rain moving into the area. Obviously, Bristol is a short track, normally with no dirt, obviously. I like the idea. I know some of the NASCAR drivers, like Kevin Harvick, doesn't like it. I think Kyle Busch was another one that doesn't like it, the idea of it. But I think there's some other things they could do to eliminate these problems of mud buildup. And on top of that, once the rain came in, because they did 2 stage cautions, and after the second stage caution, that's when all hell starts to break loose with confusion. After the second stage caution, that's when the rain moved in. They covered up the cars. Rain delay for seemed like about half hour, 45 minutes. And while this was all going on, there was confusion between the scoring system, scoring standings. I think it was Briscoe, according to their standings, was in first place, even though he pitted right before the caution or something like that, where he should have been scored as like 14th or 15th in the standings. And even the drivers were confused of how they were, scored first and not in the back and all that stuff. I don't know why they gotta make it so difficult. It kind of almost seems like they're kind of like baseball. They can't get out of their own way. You don't have to make it, stupid simple, but make it simple enough that even the NASCAR drivers would understand what's going on. Now they announced that, it will be back next spring. So that means you got a year to figure out some tweaks. And the first tweak that I would do is get a better control of the track. Because while they were pacing after the first stage break, the track was getting real slippery because the rain was starting to come in. And cars were, the one camera angle, they actually showed the one driver with the wheel pointed straight, and he's sliding out like a sheet of ice. You can't be having that happen. I mean, he bumped a car when he slid down, and I mean, that's all it takes is for just one little wrong bump, and that person's race is done. So they got a year to figure this out. I like the idea. Maybe give Bristol one more chance. I know some of the other racetracks that some of the NSRA guys were talking about was like Eldora. Maybe give Bristol one more chance. If it doesn't work out and still is a fiasco, maybe move it to somewhere else. That's an actual dirt track. If you're not too worried about fans, then do it. But I do like the idea. It's one way to get new fans interested. And last week we talked a little bit about Ty Gibbs, how he reacted with the other guy coming at him. The last lap, Tyler Riddick got bumped out of the way by I think it was Briscoe, and it was a move that probably didn't need to be done, especially on a very slick track. And he played it off nice and nice. I'm sorry, if you're about to get the win and you're right there, and he just happens to slide up into you because he messed it up, I'd be pissed. So I want to see more pissed offness. Like there was one part of the race where I think it was Ware started to drive after whoever bumped him out of the way, and his pit crew was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? He's like, I'm tired of getting bullied, and he drove past all the field to where he was supposed to be, the spot he was supposed to be in, and he rear-ended the guy that spun him out or pushed him out of the way, however you want to say it. That's what NASCAR needs. If you want to get these younger fans back into it, even the older fans are used to the Dale Earnhardt Juniors or the Dale Earnhardt Seniors, flipping Rusty Wallace onto his roof and going for the win, and having scuffles behind pit road after the race. There doesn't have to be punches thrown, that someone's gonna get knocked out or severely hurt, but show some emotion. Stop being buddy because let's be honest, they're all there to win, not make friends. So I think that's gonna be it for this week. No hot minute take this week. Maybe I'll do a hot minute take next week on my driving for Friday night. See, hopefully it's better than it's been the past couple weeks. But head over to staytunesports.net for all of our social media accounts, which you want to follow. And I think actually, speaking of the giveaway for the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series, I think we do have the Podbean site over there. So all you gotta do is click that. You look for this episode, and comment what place I was in on a 100th lap this Friday, over on YouTube through ITV. And you'll win a $20 Amazon gift card. Also, head over to www.buymeacoffee.com/stsports. Just another avenue to show your support for the show, which I totally appreciate. And once again, Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, come root the number 18 Stay Tuned Sports truck on. Hopefully, I could finish a race this time. My little Senti thing just went off. Maybe it's telling me to get the hell out of here. So, till next week, this is your good friend Jimbo, signing out.